know it has been a long time since I've made a video, several months maybe, but it's been summer and I don't know, I don't really have an excuse, I just haven't been making videos. So here we are. I'm gonna do actually a few little videos today, so they're all gonna be pretty short. You can kind of mix and match them if you'd like, or you can just do them one at a time depending on whatever you are looking for. So this first video that I'm gonna be doing is hips and thighs. So really what I wanted to do, this is for my dad, honestly. He has some hip issues and back pain, and I wanted to make a video that just showed some exercises that can strengthen muscles in your hips and also increase flexibility in your hips, because your hips are very important. So they're connected to your back. They also can lead to back pain if you are not working your hips properly. Misalignment in your hips can also cause misalignment in your knees and your ankles and just cause issues all throughout your lower body. So having flexible and strong hips is a really important thing you can do for yourself. So this video is not going to be very long, as I said before, and you can always do more of the exercises that I'm showing you. You can build up to the amount of reps we're doing in this, but really it's just meant to help those who have joint pain already and to help prevent joint pain in the people who are feeling fine. So we're going to start with some little range of motion kind of warm-up type stretch exercises here. So I want you to sit up nice and tall with your knees about a 3/4 bend here, and we're just going to allow the hips to rock side to side. So your knees are just turning out side to side, and it's a really small range of motion. We're just getting started. I don't want anyone doing cabaret style kicks or anything here. We're just really slowly windshield wipering out those legs, and if you feel good, you can come up a little higher here and increase the range of motion. I really feel it in my hips already. My hips are tight. Went on a long hike yesterday, and you don't really realize all the different muscles you use when you're hiking uphill until you start doing something like this. So just kind of massaging out that hip joint right now. So the hip joint is a ball and socket joint, which means that your femur, the head of your femur, just sits like a ball in the acetabulum of your pelvis, and it can move in 3 dimensions. It's a ball and a socket. Now we're going to go out and in with the legs. So opening and closing, stretching out those inner thighs a bit. Starting to work the piriformis muscle, which is deep in the gluteal region, and it works to externally rotate the femur. So yeah, ball and socket joint, which means the hip has a large range of motion. A lot of joints, like think of the knee joint, which is just a hinge joint, it just can go in one plane. The hip can go in a circle, right? So it can go all around, which means it's really important that we maintain the range of motion in our hips and keep that joint happy and healthy. All right, feeling pretty good here. We'll do just a really quick stretch and then we'll get started. So to start with here, I just want you to put your feet together and don't even press down on your knees or anything. We're not ready for that. This is just a warm up. We're gonna do the little butterfly here. So this is kind of an active stretch. Notice how I'm just letting my knees bounce as far as they feel comfortable. I'm not pushing them down. And this is because I really just want to make sure those muscles are getting loose without pushing them beyond what they're ready for. Okay, cool. Feeling pretty good to go. So this is a mat workout. All you need is a mat or a carpet, whatever you want. It's going to be short and sweet, and we're going to get started here with clam shells. I love clam shells. They work the piriformis that I just introduced you to. So you're going to come down onto your right or your left forearm, whatever side you choose to do first. And I don't want you to sink down into the forearm. I want you to use the strength in your shoulder and upper body to lift you up, create space along this oblique here, the side body. And you're going to bend your knees, kind of bring them a little bit in front of your body. So imagine there's a line from your fingertips to your knees. That's how I want you to be aligned. Feet are together, hips are stacked, and we're just going to open up and close that top leg. So we're externally rotating through the hip joint. So externally rotating and then internally rotating. So this is working that piriformis. It's also getting your glutes. And then as you squeeze down, you're getting your gracilis, which is an inner thigh muscle here. Closes it back in. Then you're also getting internal rotators of the hip. So this is a great exercise to both strengthen and increase range of motion in the hip joint. So a lot of people think when they start to get pain or they feel stiff that what they need to do is stretch. And yes, stretching of course is an important piece of the puzzle. But just as important as stretching is strengthening, right? So you want to make sure your muscles are both strong and stretched. Because if your muscles are only long and have a lot of flexibility, that's not going to do anything to really protect the joint and make sure that you're holding that femur into place the way that it should be. So you also need to be doing strengthening exercises to keep that joint totally healthy. It's going to be flexible and strong. These are kind of one of those moves that sneak up onto you. You can do them for a few minutes and feel totally fine, and then all of a sudden you get really sore. Keep it going. So I just have my left hand kind of supporting me here. You can do whatever you want with it. You can have it up here, have it up here. No, I don't care. It's really just there, not doing much. This shoulder though is working. I'm not slumping, right? I'm holding myself up to keep my spine in nice alignment so that my pelvis is not all out of kilter. We're going to do 3 more, 2, and then 1. While we're already on this side, I'm going to come on down and relax my head on my bicep. We're going to straighten out the legs now and just do some leg raises. So this is getting your outer thigh muscles and your glutes and inner thighs as you come down. So now working that hip in a slightly different way. So instead of doing a rotational movement now, we are doing a abduction and abduction. So abduction means moving away from the midline of the body. I always remember it because if you were being abducted by aliens, they would pull you away, right? So abduction is out, adduction is in. We're getting both of those actions in this single exercise. So we're only moving in one plane of motion here, just out and in, whereas in the last we're moving in 2, kind of going out and around, and then down and back. Give me 2 more. Last one, let's do some circles here. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We gotta do it the other way. Reverse. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Quick little stretch. I'm gonna bring my knee across my body here and just let gravity do the work and stretch out my outer thigh and my glutes here. All right, moving to the other side. Feels pretty good. How does that hip feel? Should feel a little bit more open, hopefully. And we're switching around, same thing here. So we're starting with those clam shells. Remember, sit up and out of that shoulder. Knees are in front of you, in line with the tips of your fingers on your opposite hand. And then we're just gonna clam shell it out here. Open and close. Notice if one side feels better than the other. And then maybe just get a little extra love to that side today. While it's important to keep both sides of your body even, they're usually not. There's usually some little kink or something going on that makes them a little bit different, and that's okay. You just need to be aware of it and don't feel like you have to treat both sides the same every time. If you're feeling pain in one side, just stop on that side. Giving it a little extra love, a little extra stretching. For me, this side feels tight, and strangely, it feels tight in my hamstrings here. That's where I'm kind of feeling a little bit of tension. So I might give my hamstrings a little extra love. Stretching. Out and in. So Dad, this is for you. I hope you do it. A few more here. Gotta keep it even. Sitting out of that shoulder. How's everyone's summers going? What you doing? Mine is pretty good. Can't complain. It's kind of weird. I almost feel like I'm ready to go back to school. I feel like I'm forgetting things and I want to just keep the momentum going, but I know breaks are important, so I'm trying to enjoy this time. A few more here. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Then we're coming down onto our side. You can rest your head on your bicep here, and we have the raises. Abduction, adduction. I got Olive a doggy, I went and got a smoothie bowl this morning, and they had doggy bowl smoothie bowls. So I got her one, and I can hear her in the other room just licking it. It was totally frozen, so kind of like a doggy ice cream. And she is going hard. And I would not be surprised in the slightest if she throws it all up. So I am already prepared for that with a towel in my car. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up. We got circles. So choose a direction, either direction. We're doing both. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other way. Keep that leg nice and straight. Point the toe. If you feel like you get calf cramps when you point your toe, you can kind of point your foot without pointing your toe. If that makes sense. So you plantar flex without flexing the toes. 3, 2, and 1. Ooh. How does that hip feel? Let's stretch it out like we did on the other side. Just let gravity do the work. Very gentle stretch here. And we're going to finish real fast with a little bit of glute work, because what is a exercise focused on the hip joint without thinking about the biggest muscles attached to the hip joint, which are the glutes. Let's do raises here. Well, hip bridges. So a really great thing to do if you have a band, so one of those, God, what are they called? Elastic bands? I'm totally blanking right now. I feel stupid. Those, resistance band. You can put that around your upper thighs, or your kind of mid-thigh when you do these, and then you add resistance. So if you have one of those are great. If not, it's fine. You can do it without them. So we're going to come down onto our backs. I want your heels to be just out of reach of your fingertips here, and they're in line with your hips. So we're going to raise the hips up. We're going to do a abduction and then squeeze back in. So you raise the hips up, open the knees, close the knees, and drop. So up, open, close, drop. So here we are working the glutes as we raise the hips, and then we're getting into that piriformis. We're getting a nice stretch through the IT band as we squeeze our legs back together. So open the knees, close the knees, bring it down, then close, bring it down. Inner, outer thighs. We're going up and out, so we're working in 2 planes here. Exercises that work in multiple planes tend to be more efficient because you're working several muscle groups at once. And when you think about the type of daily activities you're doing, a lot of times you're doing twisting, bending, movements. So it's good to work your body in ways that it's going to see in the real world. So rarely are you ever just working in one dimension. I don't think you would do this particular exercise very often in the real world, but it prepares the muscles for kind of everyday activities that you're going to see. And up, out, and down. Now you're just going to hold it up. You're going to squeeze the knees out and then back in. So it's out and in. You're really going to start to feel this in your hips. And this is a great strengthening exercise that also helps with range of motion. So you might notice that with each opening of your knees, you feel like you can go a little bit further. And now that we're nice and warmed up, go ahead and do it. Let those knees splay out and then squeeze them back in. Keep the hips high the whole time though. Don't let the hips dip, right? So we want to keep them nice and high so that we're really focusing on those smaller muscles in the deep gluteal region. I'm feeling my inner thighs too. This is great. Just give me 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're just going to sit down, let those knees open up wide. You can kind of rock side to side a little bit, get a little massage in your booty. Awesome. Now we're going to cross one knee over the opposite, grab through in the window, pull through, and stretch out. This is a great deep stretch for that piriformis muscle. So why am I talking so much about the piriformis muscle? Well, one thing, because that's what I believe my father has. I've diagnosed him with piriformis syndrome. But it's actually a really common issue that people have where their piriformis muscle gets really tight and it actually presses down on the sciatic nerve. So the sciatic nerve travels through a notch in the hips and the piriformis muscle sits right on top of it. And it's pretty common that that muscle starts to pinch off part of that nerve and people get pain all down their leg, the back of their leg, because that sciatic nerve provides innervation to the entire back of the leg, from the butt all the way down to the bottom of the foot. So it's important to keep that muscle strong and flexible, especially when you are having symptoms of piriformis syndrome. You want to make sure that you go see a physical therapist or someone who knows what they're talking about, and you get the right exercises to help alleviate the tension that is being put on that nerve. So that's why it's really important. And a good way to prevent that from ever happening is do these kind of exercises. All right, let's rock on up now. Now we're going to go back to that same stretch we started out with, but this time you can push down on your knees. You're more warmed up. We really did a lot of work through the hip joint here, so we can press down with our elbows on the knees. Feel a deeper stretch in those glutes and the inner thighs. Ooh, this feels good. Keeping this video under 20 minutes. Look at that. I didn't ramble on too much today. Ramble on. Great. And then a little quad stretch, because quads are also important here. So you're going to come out and put one knee forward, then come back, reach for that quad foot to feel it stretch down in front of your leg. And a little hamstring stretch for the opposite side. You ever go to a yoga class or a bar class and they do this and then they say, okay, now feel free to go down into your optional split, and people like go into the full split. I can't do that, so you can feel safe with me if you're also not flexible. All right, other side. So getting the quad first here. Whoop. Oh, I feel so out of balance on this side. There we go. Little bitty stretch. And then take it back for the hamstring stretch on the other side. Far back as you feel comfortable. I hope Olive is eating her bowl right now and not something else. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that your hips are feeling good. And if you'd like to watch my other videos I'm about to post, you can do that too. If not, have a great day. Bye.